za internet uryoherwa n'umuvuduko wa 4G.
Hello dear viewers, welcome to this edition of the news in English here on Rwanda Television. My name is Serge Nhori. We'll begin with the headlines. Today, President Paul Kagame and the President of the International Cycling Union flagged off the 17th edition of the Tour du Rwanda. Fintech investors in Rwanda are looking up for the forthcoming Fintech Forum in Kigali as a good platform to develop strategies to facilitate operations across African countries without barriers. And on the international scene, a South African university is drawing astronomy fans from across the world to learn more about the universe.
American Digital.
Now the details. President Paul Kagame officially launched the 17th edition of the Tour du Rwanda and engaged in discussions with the President of the International Cycling Union regarding the future of cycling here in Rwanda. Adam Squizera has the details on that.
4, 3, 2, 1.
President Paul Kagame and Union Cycliste International UCI President David Lapartien flagged off the 17th edition of Rwanda Cycling Tour du Rwanda 2025. This year's edition comes ahead of the UCI World Championships that is expected to bring together riders from across the world for the first World Championship to be held in Africa in 105 years. UCI counts 201 federations and countries. In this first stage, the cyclist who set off before others was Rwandan Jean-Claude Nzafashwanayo for the World Cycling Center team. Shortly before the kickoff of the first stage individual team trial of the Tour du Rwanda, there was the official launch of the UCI World Cycling Center Regional Development Satellite, which will serve as a training center for the elite talent-serving cyclists from Rwanda, the continent and beyond. As Neshime Samson, president of Rwanda Cycling Federation, explains.
So look at the satellite as a legacy of the World Championship, but not only that, that is going to help us shape the juniors and the elite and the mechanics and everybody that has an opportunity to be in the World Championship, not only for Rwandans, but for the region countries and all the other African countries, including every now and again, I do believe the UAE and Qatar maybe. So, yeah.
President Kagame also met with David Lapartien and discussed on the UCI World Cycling Center Regional Development Satellite, an initiative that will serve as a training center for elite talent-serving cyclists from Rwanda, the continent, and beyond. They also exchanged on the potential for Tour du Rwanda to grow and be elevated to Pro Series and World Tour levels. Adam Squizera, RTV News, Kigali.
Thank you so much, Adam Squizera. Still in the same competition, Team Rwanda in Tour du Rwanda has promised to give Rwandans a good show during the competition, while supporters have hope that the team is capable of even winning the competition. We have a report. This Sunday at BK Arena, President Paul Kagame and President of the International Cycling Union flagged off the 17th edition of Tour du Rwanda. This competition began with a prologue stage, which is an individual time trial at the beginning of the stage race that must not exceed 8 kilometers. Aldo, riding for Lotto development team from Belgium, came number 1 after completing the 3.4-kilometer stretch in 3 minutes 48 seconds. In second position was Fabie from Team Total Energies at 3 minutes 50 seconds and 121 microseconds. Masengesho, who is on Team Rwanda, came 30th. While talking to RBA, he said there is still time to improve, especially when it comes to climbing races. Today's prologue was on a flat run and with a lot of wind. We are banking on the remaining races because they will be mostly climbing races, and this is something we are good at. We are looking forward to winning several stages, and if all goes well, the competition. Some of the supporters shared their excitement and joy for witnessing this season of the competition, saying they are believing for great results from Team Rwanda. My name is Abayo Darius. I'm a teacher in Ngororero district. The reason I came all this far is because I love this sport, and ever since it reached 2.1 level, it only means that the sport is growing and our team can do better than it did today. From what we've seen today, it is noticeable that Team Rwanda improved in speed, skill, and a lot more. I can now officially confirm that the day went well. All teams and players were okay throughout the race, and everything went as planned. We are grateful, especially to President Paul Kagame, who graced this event. Moving forward, players will be practicing together for the next 4 months, which is a good thing, and may the best team win. 14 teams made of 69 players will be participating in this competition that will end on Sunday, the 2nd of March this year. Well, moving on, investors in Rwanda who are engaged in technology services for financial institutions, FinTech, are looking up to the 4th upcoming FinTech Forum in Kigali as a good platform to develop strategies to facilitate operations across African countries without barriers. We still have details. Rwandan entrepreneurs Benjamin Karenzi and Kevin Kaisire, who have founded companies providing financial tech services, will be attending the FinTech Forum. Both confirm that every African country should ease the process of granting licenses to those wishing to operate within their borders.
Companies that within Africa and also want to trade across Africa, and that once companies are trading across Africa and are able to expand to different African countries, that means that more innovations, more solutions, more competition, then this goes down to the users. So the cost of doing of transaction and payment will go down. So it's a great initiative between Rwanda and Ghana, and we hope that other countries would also pick a leaf and do the same or join the initiative.
So regarding cross-border payments, it's still very fragmented when you're talking about the actual on-the-ground experience, especially for businesses, because businesses that do cross-border trade, some of them, they rely on cashless transactions, but that is not as seamless when you are dealing on both sides of the border. So we are looking forward to an initiative or a plan where we can see systems being integrated that will make it easier for cross-border trade, especially for businesses.
Currently, Africa has over 40 different legal frameworks governing these fintech companies. This complicates the attempts to establish these businesses in various countries. This situation also leads to high costs and extended timelines for those looking to start up. The coordinator of Rwanda FinTech Association believes that this upcoming forum will address such issues and more.
Solutions is a limitless. People can start in Rwanda as a hub, and they expand their solution across the region, across the Africa and the other continent. And also to attract investors, showing them that in Rwanda there's opportunity to invest in a local company and the local companies. So Rwanda, there's a very good solutions, whether it's an agribusiness, whether it's an insurtech or the payment side. We have a lot of solutions from the Rwandans, even the external companies comes in here to start their operations, because they see the Rwandan market is very favorable. It can be like a hub for them to showcase the MVP of their product and also export the product across the globe.
Initially, Rwanda and Ghana are expected to lead other countries in signing agreements that will simplify licensing technology services, allowing unrestricted operations. The forum will also host representatives from central banks of countries, including Brazil, Uganda, Namibia, Tanzania, Haiti, Ghana, Zambia, Rwanda, and others. It is anticipated that approximately 3,000 attendees will participate. The Kigali International Financial Center, in collaboration with the National Bank of Rwanda and other stakeholders, are the organizers of this event. Chief Investment Officer of Rwanda Finance Limited explains the crucial importance of this forum in advancing the financial sector across Africa.
To discuss and see how we can basically keep developing fintech on the continent. There are different topics, including policy. How can we, for example, harmonize policy on the continent? We are going to discuss about challenges in terms of raising capital. Some fintechs and startups on the continent are still facing challenges in terms of when it comes to raise capital, and as well as financial literacy. We still have to educate and to make sure that a big mass of Africans have access to those services.
A similar forum was last held in Rwanda 2 years back from the 20th to the 22nd of June 2023, officially inaugurated by President Paul Kagame.
Fintechs are accelerating Africa's digital transformation, and the impact is evident. Across the continent, more jobs, wealth, and opportunities are being created. At the helm of Africa's fintech industry is a young and rapidly growing population ready to innovate solutions and drive financial inclusion. Africa's demographic dividend has not gone unnoticed by investors who in recent years have increased financing to African fintechs. Still, compared to the rest of the world, Africa has produced a small number of unicorns, and the majority of transactions remain cash-based. The digital economy is not a zero-sum game. Everyone should benefit from its potential. That's why we must do more to ensure women are active participants in the fintech space.
During this forum, attendees will also discuss measures to improve the accessibility of credit to businesses, as currently only 27% of small and medium enterprises in Africa have access to loans provided by financial institutions. Well, moving on, WASAC has announced plans for a prepaid water payment system. According to WASAC, this will allow customers to pay for water in advance. The initiative aims to eliminate confusion regarding charges of water and regarding charges for water that was not consumed. Additionally, the new system will incorporate technology that will help workers monitor the amount of water being used without needing to enter customers' homes. This comes following several instances reported by residents complaining that sometimes they go without water for a while only to be surprised with charges for water that they did not consume. They are hopeful that purchasing water will become similar to how electricity is purchased. CEO of WASAC Group Limited, Professor Omar Munyaneza, revealed that consultations with different investors are being held and a pilot study will be rolled out, beginning with those that can afford the smart water meters, saying they are costly and require other measures in place first.
Now, institutions affiliated with the Ministry of Infrastructure have assured residents awaiting compensation payments that they are doing everything possible to settle the debts related to properties used for public infrastructure projects. Across the country, some residents have repeatedly accused these institutions of failing to compensate them for their damaged or expropriated properties even after evaluation assessments were conducted. However, some of the residents remain unpaid due to failing to open bank accounts as required, which results in them missing their compensation. The Chief Executive Officer of the Water and Sanitation Corporation, Professor Omar Munyaneza, has stated that they are working closely with local authorities to ensure payments are made, including to those who have been waiting for a long time due to missing documentation. Meanwhile, the CEO of the Rwanda Energy Group, whose institution also owes compensation payments, has announced that more than 4 billion Rwandan francs will be paid out during this fiscal year. During a press conference at the beginning of this year, President Paul Kagame emphasized that the issue of expropriated residents not receiving their due compensation must be addressed to prevent negative impacts on citizens. The government has established a law requiring that compensation be paid to affected residents before public projects commence, though in some cases this regulation has not been followed. The law also stipulates that if property valuation is conducted but compensation is not paid within 3 months, a new valuation must be carried out. Now, Jumba Hospital in Gichumbi district, that's in the northern province, is reporting spending approximately 15 million Rwandan francs annually to care for patients without guardians and those who remain hospitalized for extended periods. The patients appreciate the government's efforts in making healthcare more affordable, but still call on compassionate individuals to continue offering support. On Sunday, Jumba Hospital celebrated the 33rd annual World Day of the Sick. Besides improved access to healthcare, patients expressed gratitude for various charitable organizations, including the Adeperi Church, which provides food every Monday, and the Muslim community, which supports them every Friday. The hospital's director has noted that some patients stay for extended periods, and in some cases, their families even abandon them. The hospital bears significant costs amounting to millions to care for such individuals. One major advancement that has alleviated some healthcare challenges is the installation of a modern oxygen plant, which cost 400 million Rwandan francs. Before its arrival, however, the hospital had spent over 100 million Rwandan francs on oxygen supplies. Many services at Jumba Hospital have been upgraded, allowing patients in Gichumbi and the surrounding areas to receive care nearby instead of traveling to other regions or even crossing the border into Uganda. The hospital treats between 150 and 250 patients daily and is now classified as a secondary level teaching hospital.
Alo, waramutse shiri wanjye.
Utekereza ko guhora wivuganya n'umushu aribyo birenze? Natwe niko tubibona. Ubona nta cyakurutira kugaragaza impano yawe. Niko bimeze.
So guys, uyu munsi tugiye kuganira tugaseke. Agaseke njye gafite byinshi. Kamari, ese wowe kakumara iki? Manudi. Halo Manudi, ni ibiki uri kunkura mu kazi? Hero mabusha, byahiye kandi noneho bimeze neza cyane. Ukuntu biri no guhumura. Ako Manudi, urumva nakumva ko ibyo bihumura koko?
Ubona nta cyakurutira umwuga wawe. Erega, natwe niko tubibona. Dushyigikiye buri kimwe agaciro mu buzima bwawe na irekure nshya. Buri wese arahishiwe, wikwisondeka. Kanda akanyenyeri 140 urwego, uhitemo agaseke kawe ka packs zo guhamagara. Cyangwa akanyenyeri 345 urwego, uhitemo bando za internet uryoherwe n'umuvuduko wa 4G.
On the international scene, one of South Africa's acclaimed learning institution is using its transformed state-of-the-art planetarium to draw astronomy fans from across the world to learn more about the universe. VAO with more.
Curious visitors and astronomy fans joined the official launch this month of the Wits Anglo-American Digital Dome of the University of the Witwatersrand, formerly known as the Wits Planetarium. Nestled in the heart of Johannesburg, this state-of-the-art dome offers a rare and immersive look at the universe.
This kind of a view, like the 360-degree image and the audio, gives you what is called an immersive environment, where you feel that you're part of the journey. Like whatever's happening in the dome, you kind of in part of the journey. So if you're flying through the stars, you feel like you're actually flying through the stars.
The facility says it is the largest of its kind in the Southern Hemisphere. It offers not only a spectacular experience, but also a teaching venue and collaboration hub for scientists, artists, and students. Officials say here they can bring their work to life in dazzling, immersive detail.
When I was at school, I came here. So I said, one day when I have my own kids, I would love to bring them. So when we looked on Google, we realized it's still existing. So that's when we decided we're going to come, and lucky for us, we saw today they're opening.
The old-school analog Zeiss projector, once the heart of the planetarium, has been swapped out for a futuristic setup. 10 digital projectors now beam an ultra-crisp 8K resolution picture across the entire dome. On this day, the featured show is Cosmic Collisions. It is one of 6 productions donated by the American Museum of Natural History in New York. Each show costs about $1 million to produce, making them a valuable contribution to science education in Africa, according to the former National Research Foundation's Beverly Damone.
The fact that we are under license to them, but without the payment of a license fee for 2 years, means that really we have content, high quality content that we can share with our public audiences without incurring astronomical costs at this stage.
The films will be showcased until 2026, allowing visitors like Cindy Pinar and her family to experience world-class science education. And her son Christian was over the moon.
And you get to learn and experience a lot instead of just watching it from a phone on YouTube or whatever, instead of experiencing it in real life.
The Wits Anglo-American Digital Dome plans to create their own content after the donated films end their run. Siri Kassim, VOA News, Johannesburg, South Africa.
And now in the USA, environmentalists who are also into cars recently gathered in Chicago for the Chicago Auto Show, where some of the latest electric vehicles were being showcased via VOA once more.
It sounds like an engine, and it might feel like an engine. But what propels the new Dodge Charger isn't an internal combustion engine at all. It's a fully electric vehicle, or EV. And while the sounds and smell of tires burning rubber are real, the hallmarks of a throaty exhaust are artificial.
I think you will forget that it's an EV.
Ryan Nagoti is vice president for interior design at Stellantis, which owns the Dodge brand. The Charger has long been an icon of the gasoline-powered American muscle car era. Nagoti says turning it into an EV, with certain models exceeding $60,000, was a leap of faith for Dodge.
We know that that's where, the country's heading, and it takes time.
A tax credit of up to $7,500. President Donald Trump has signaled plans to end the credit. Nagoti says those incentives weren't a major factor in the Charger's EV development.
You're getting a different customer coming to this vehicle, right? That's not their first and foremost thought.
Even so, incentives helped fuel an EV buying surge last year in the U.S., Cox Automotive reports, with about 1.3 million new vehicles sold, a 7.3% increase over sales in 2023.
Toyota has 19 electrified vehicles, so that includes hybrids, plug-in hybrids, fuel cell EV, and electric vehicles.
None of which qualify for the current federal EV tax credit. Toyota's only fully electric vehicle in North America, the BZ4X, also doesn't qualify because it's manufactured outside the United States. In December, Toyota announced it was cutting the price of its BZ4X by up to $6,000.
We're seeing that electric vehicles are getting cheaper.
Megha Lakchora is the electric vehicle officer for the state of Illinois, which is continuing a $4,000 state rebate for purchasing a fully electric vehicle. She joined Melissa Washington, a senior vice president at energy supplier ComEd, at an auto show news conference.
We have $100 million in rebates that are being made available in 2025
for customers to adopt EVs. And that's going to be for all customers, our residential customers, our commercial customers, and public sector customers.
Kane Fairbaugh, VOA News, Chicago.
That report has brought us to the end of this edition of the news. However, before we go, let us again take a look at the headlines.
Well, today, President Paul Kagame and the President of the International Cycling Union flagged off the 17th edition of Tour du Rwanda, while fintech investors in Rwanda are looking up to the 4th upcoming fintech forum in Kigali as a good platform to develop strategies to facilitate operations across African countries without barriers. On the international scene, a South African university is drawing astronomy fans from across the world to learn more about the universe.
We thank you so much for taking the time to join us for this edition, and we hope we have a great week ahead of you. My name is Sarah Shanhore.
And William Evans Mutawazi.
Goodbye.